Now with the Scam Goddess. Laci Mosley, the award-winning comedy podcast, covers famous frauds and cons, and now she's diving deeper in a new TV series from ABC News Studios. We gotta say good morning to you, Laci.
Good morning to you, King.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I'm a big fan of yours, and I know you started your podcast 2019.
Yes.
Then next thing you know, you wrote a book, and now you have this series coming out, and you go behind the scenes of these crimes, and you speak to the people involved.
Yes.
It seems really fascinating to me. But what does it mean to be a scam goddess?
Well, I do want to clarify that on national television.
Yes, please do.
Because I am Scam Goddess, and I did name my podcast and my book and my television show all Scam Goddess. We're keeping the brand strong. But I am not a criminal. I am not a criminal.
People think you are because of the name.
They do, yes. I'm actually here to warn and protect people against scams. And it is a comedy show. There is some lighthearted moments in all of it, but it's mostly because I'm making fun of the scammers. I think they're very unserious people. But when I'm speaking to victims, it's a lot more like emotional and empathetic. And
how do you balance that? Because you are a comedian. This is a comedy show, but these are very real scams. So how do you balance that?
So I balance it with going beyond the headline. A lot of times, like if you see a headline like Ghanaian prince scams people in Ohio out of $14 million, you think, oh my God, that's so ridiculous, right? But then when you sit down with the victims in that town and get to know the culture, you start to realize how close these scams are to all of our doors. Yeah, so when I'm speaking to someone who has been a victim of a scam, it's more so about sharing information, erasing shame. You're not a fool if you've been scammed. You're not dumb. We all have needs, and there's always going to be someone who wants to prey on those needs.
Yeah, and you research scams for years.
Yes.
So what is your best advice to avoid falling for one?
My best advice to avoid falling for one is to know that you can fall for one. A lot of people think it's so ridiculous, and I say scammers are fishermen, right? So maybe that's not your bait, but I'd hate to see you on the hook. So if you see some weird things, you know, don't assume it would never happen to you.
Yeah, and did you say something like say it out loud?
Yeah, say it out loud, call a friend. You'd be surprised when you say something out loud how ridiculous it sounds.
If I give you $1 and I get $1 million back tomorrow, oh, that sounds like a scam.
Because the taxes and fees, Bruno Mars needs $20,000 from my grandmother.
Okay, and now you say it out loud, it does make it seem like it is ridiculous. Okay, but we're going to talk about the first episode. It covers Rita Crundwell, who scammed she was the largest municipal fraud in U.S. history.
Yes. And
you had a chance to talk to the whistleblower.
Yes.
So let's take a look.
So I took the statement and I hid it down in my car. And then about 3 days later, the mayor came into my office and he started to talk to me how bad we were in dire straits, the city. And I just sat back and I said, Jim, I have something to tell you. I said, I've gotten a statement from Fifth Third. I said, I've never seen this bank account before. So he immediately called the FBI.
No hesitation.
No.
Always, you know, eventually you get caught.
Yeah.
And if you had an opportunity to speak to one scammer, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Anna Delvey.
Really?
Yes. I love that she spoke to the judge and said, I am not a good person. Stand in your truth, queen. Okay. But I would love to know how she targeted her marks, like what to look out for, who she would prey on, so I can be the exact opposite.
It's pretty interesting that she would say that, because most people would say, I am a good person and I had no ill intention. I think you need to make that happen.
I want to make that happen. Anna, if you're out there, if you're listening, you know, tap that ankle bracelet and get at me, okay?
There's the comedy side right there. But ladies, we appreciate you being here. We really do. And Scam Goddess, it premieres Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Freeform. It'll be available to stream on Hulu the next day. Make sure you check it out.
Yes.
And be careful out there.
Be careful.
Be careful.